mean, I was probably obviously shy isn't the right word, but not that sure of myself. So if I didn't speak up, it wasn't because I was shy. It was more because I didn't know. The working environment was new. Everything about that. When you've been in school your whole life, it's very different. All of a sudden you're thrown into this cubicle farm and you're working 40, 80 hours a week and you're thinking, whoa, this is kind of weird. Like I'm working in a cubicle farm and, I sit in by myself all day long and, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was an adjustment. But so that was that. I mean, and by the way, I never loved PR. It was because remember, I was lost in the world of thought and I thought until I figure out what I want to do, let me learn something and let me do something that I think I'd be good at. So PR is a very powerful skill. And I encourage everyone when they're thinking about what they're going to do with their life, it's okay not to have all the answers, but think of something that you think you'd be kind of good at and some skill that you could use in the future and across multiple disciplines. So figuring out how to utilize the media is a pretty important skill. And of course, as you'll hear later in my story, Plate was, pretty much seminal in how I built my business. So fast forward a little bit, I hated PR, and my husband at the time it wasn't my husband was going to law school in LA. So I followed him down there, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to change my career. So I did something called AmeriCorps,
Oh
which I don't
yeah.
know if you
Yeah.
guys are familiar with that, but it's kind of like the Peace Corps, but domestically. And the project that I was given was working at a domestic violence shelter in LA. And I thought, this is it. I'm saving the world. I'm going to be fulfilled. I've tried corporate, it doesn't work for me. I'm going to do this. And I must be one of the only dropouts of AmeriCorps, maybe of all time, because 6 months into it, I realized if I really wanted to create change, this wasn't going to be the right place. And here's why. At that time, Bill and Melinda Gates in the news had said they were going to donate all this money and create this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and they weren't going to build fountains at the Opera Center. They were going to solve real world problems. Shortly after, Warren Buffett said that when he died, he was also going to leave tremendous amount of money for this foundation as well. So somehow inside, I thought, okay, so create change equals become super, super rich. And how do you do that? Well, you start your own business. So I automatically started thinking, maybe I should be thinking a little bit more entrepreneurial. So either way, I felt like I wasn't making a change. I needed money. You don't get paid a lot in America. So I went back to PR, and I only lasted 6 more months before I went and started my business. But here's what happened in that last 6 months. I had started with a new firm. I had been given a client. Within the first month, I had tripled the retainer. This client had gotten acquired by a major, major company. And the CEO of this company had told the owner of my firm that he really felt that I was a significant reason that what I did for their perception and their brand made a big difference for them in terms of the acquisition. I thought, great, this is fantastic. I didn't see a raise, even though I tripled their retainer and gotten such glowing recommendations. And I also happened to walk into the HR woman's office. I had to drop off some forms. And I don't recommend this, but as I was waiting for her, since she was on the phone, I glanced down and I had noticed that there was this girl who I knew at the firm was working probably in a position lower than me, but she was working as a freelancer and she was getting paid a heck of a lot more. So I basically said I wanted to freelance, and I just thought simply if I could work from home, watch Oprah, do yoga, spend more time with my boyfriend, and if I made the same money, I win. Already I win because I wanted a better quality of life. And that had to change. I needed to start learning to live life on my own terms. And so I worked freelance for a while, but I realized that, you know what? I have something here. Maybe I can make more money if I take on more clients. So I ended up bringing on a really big client.